There sure were a lot of babies in there, Carl.
You know how I feel about babies, Carl.
It's time for a random review.
Welcome to the Original Geek Random Review. We set the topic, the dice set the direction. We know what we're reviewing, just not how. Hi, I'm Steve Scarfo.
All right, yeah, we're rolling for a review of Carl's Doomsday Scenario, Book 2 of the DCC.
The wonderful world of Dungeon Crawler Carl. So, like we said in the major episode, if you haven't seen the full episode, go back and watch our Dungeon Crawler Carl. We do a full episode about the series and the book, and we do a review of book 1 of the same name, Dungeon Crawler Carl. But this is going to be for Carl's Doomsday Scenario, essentially set on the 3rd floor of the dungeon. And I get to roll for Jeff first. For those of you who haven't been here before, we have a list of topics. We don't know what they are. 20-sided dice tells us which one we're going to pick. We don't know what we're saying until we say it. So here we go.
All right.
I rolled you an 8. The Awakened NPC Secrets. Questioning why certain NPCs possess self-awareness. Creeping cosmic horror. Reviewers point to the unsettling lore questions building under the surface. Why are some NPCs aware while others aren't? How stable are former crawlers forced into NPC roles? It adds a layer of existential dread to every conversation.
So interesting. I feel like Gemini put this here a little too soon. Now, there is some inklings that we get with some of the NPCs, particularly ones either that were like former crawlers, or even in the book 1 when the goblin's like, oh, I almost made it down. I could have gotten to the next floor and then things would get better. And so, there's this, it starts to plant the seed, because when you go into this, you're thinking, and actually, when we play Dungeons and Dragons, it's like, oh, these are the enemy. And you kill them, and then you move on. And so it complicates things when it's like, oh no, they're victims as well. And so as you read through these books, and these NPCs are forced into this life of servitude, and Carl goes back and forth between saving them and freeing them by killing them. Like, they're better off dead. Oh no, wait, no, I want to save them. What can we do? How can we save them? So it's a little bit of back and forth. So there is that. I agree with that existentialism. It's coming a little bit early on this, but the seeds were planted in the first book. So,
yeah, I think we see some of the growing of Carl. I've been hearing a lot more reviews lately. Everybody's trying to be us, Jeff. They're all reviewing the books, but we got there like 92nd, but still we're here. But the deal is, he starts off very kind of cold and calculating. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's trying to stay alive. And in his view, like you said, the best thing for these NPCs, because that's how he thinks of them, is they're non-player characters, non-people characters. They are just game-generated interactions. It's better for them to be dead. That's what his first thought is. But he starts to learn, I think, in this second book on the 3rd floor with Serena Signet and with the Shamankas. I think it's on floor 2. But they have, like you said, they are aware of what's going on, and he starts to realize, oh, there's more to them than just being a generated character. I think he was thinking of them as a not real, and he goes to believe and understand that they are real. But I think you're right. I think this is a little early for the reveal of how much.
There sure were a lot of babies in there, Carl.
You know how I feel about babies, Carl. I won't even attempt a donut, but I could do a bizarrely high-pitched British accent, but it won't be Jeff Hayes' donut.
All right, rolling for you.
Rolling for me.
And we got a 10. Successful perception. The galactic broader view. Glimpse the political chaos occurring outside the crawl. I'm going to re-roll this one because this is too early. We already had one that is too early. So let's go with 6, successful stealth check. Audette's sneaky advice, selecting classes under the radar, tactical cunning. Guided by Audette, Carl and Donut get sneaky with their race and class selections. Instead of picking obvious power builds, they pick specialized system gaming synergies that keep their true potential hidden from corporate sponsors.
Yeah. All right. Good call on re-rolling that. So just again, we let AI, and I know how a lot of you feel about AI, but we let, and not the AI, because we have no foot fetish in here yet. I have to say yet. AI develops this list for us. So we don't know what this list is going to be. We've told you before, it's to keep it fresh. So what happens sometimes is the list goes off the rail, much like the AI in, I think, book 6 with the toe sucking, but we won't talk about that till later.
Gone primal.
It has gone primal. So this one is definitely fits book 2. And it really does. And it's very cool. If you've read all of these, if you listen to all of them, you know that Audette's part becomes larger and larger. But this is sort of the beginnings. You don't really see everything yet, but you see the beginnings of her machinations of how to manipulate. And then we find out later books why she's manipulating, but this is her helping them. And I think I almost want to put helping them in air quotes, but she does get them. And this is how they get Mordecai to stay with them, because she kind of convinces them that one of them needs to have the manager skill, and Donut picks a former child actor as her class, which gets them the manager, which gets their Mordecai, and she has ulterior motives for that. We should find out later, but yeah, she definitely, and I wish I had better quotes for the actual conversation they had, but she's definitely sneaky about how she gets that in, and they, cause disruptions so that they can speak off the record, at different times. But, yeah, I think her character is a great character in general too. So, but I agree.
Yeah.
With this one.
And, to slight digression and talk about classes. Yeah. Cause in our full episode, I talked about how these books kind of changed my perspective on being a dungeon master. In D&D, like, these are your classes, and they're like fighter, mage, and there was a few subclasses. Then they started getting more creative. If you have not read the DCC yet, and you're a D&D fan, please go read these, because it'll blow your mind. These different, very creative classes. At Dinniman, I'm envious, because I thought I had some creative ideas, and then he's just outside the box. Former child actor as a class,
yeah,
it's just phenomenal.
And the skills too. We can get into that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Some of the skills
much.
are great.
Yeah, but Audette, and the her, what are her motivations at this time? It looks like she's being, she says she wants to keep them alive. She's making money off of them, and that's true too. So there are other motivations there we don't discover in this book, but she says right out loud, I want you to survive. And so having Mordecai as their guide is key for their survival. And even in this book, even though he gets drunk and passes out and is useless initially, he is giving them good advice, which they don't always follow.
No, and it's it goes beyond the money too, because she's got a personal connection to Mordecai, which again we find out later. But they lay that now. But they lay that in now, yeah.
Yeah.
But with the ability to have, we're not spoiling anything if you haven't.
I know
read
she
this book.
does say it.
She definitely talks about that. But I think it's a very cool call out too that Mordecai goes from game guide, which is sort of this, they're all indentured servants. They get out, former crawlers who have to sign on to an indenture for future seasons so that they don't have to stay in the dungeon. And he's stuck with this crap job of always helping these crawlers. And you see his, not disdain, but he doesn't really care much one way or the other. He's trying to give them good advice, but doesn't really care. And it's not till this book when he becomes the manager, where, like you said, he sort of freaks out and gets drunk because he's like, oh God, I'm stuck with these two. And then obviously future books change that relationship. But all right, so that is Carl's Doomsday scenario. That is our random review, the Original Geek random review. You need to go now watch the whole episode of Dungeon Crawler Carl, and at which point we will tell you, and we'll tell you again. If you haven't read, listened to, and consumed every bit of the DCC, then there's some huge chunk of your life missing. There's a hole in your soul that you need to fill with Carl's big foot with the toe ring. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. And if you have, if you've never listened to an audiobook, this is a great entry. It'll actually spoil you for all of the other audiobooks. If you're like, oh, wow, I really loved the Jeff Hayes audio, I'm going to go listen to something else, you won't like it nearly as much. It's amazing. So please do listen and or read these books.
Yes. So as always, like, subscribe, follow, share, tell your friends about us, and we will see you guys for book 3.
Bye, OGs.